Hello, everyone. We welcome you to another episode of the Away Gooners podcast. In this episode, we are going to be doing a review of that wonderful win that we got against Luton. A game that should not have gone to that extent. We sort of took it to that extent and finally came out with 3 points. And with me today to do the review, unfortunately, Vijay could not join us today. So all the responsibility of making this an entertaining episode falls on our shoulders, and we'll try our best to do this. So joining me today is Deepak. Hello, Deepak.
Hello.
Well, I've been like seeing Deepak's face every day almost right now. We've been involved in some sort of a podcast recording or the other. So, Deepak, before we go into the episode, I would want to thank everyone who's been supporting us so far. Do continue to support us, comment on our videos. If you wish to join us at any point in time, just let us know. And like Vijay always says, we are more than happy to have you on the show. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get regular notifications from us. So, Deepak, let's start this episode. Now, my first question would be your first thoughts on that win. Did you expect it to be this difficult?
No, actually, I predicted it to be 2-0 victory. I thought it would be a easy win. I thought it would be a not like easy, but a kind of a straightforward win. Minus the mistakes which we usually make. I didn't think we would make the same mistakes again after the Wolves game, but it turned out to be. It's like every game someone or the other makes a mistake, which is frustrating to see. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't continue.
I think we grossly underestimated Luton Town, and especially Luton Town at home. I don't think they are a force away from home, but in that stadium, we've always had trouble playing in smaller stadiums where
Yeah,
the sidelines are so close to the crowd is always the place where we struggle a lot. But I think this game, I was really surprised to see Luton playing the way they did for the entire 90 minutes of the game. When you generally look
uh,
at these teams at the bottom half, you would see that they would play this way for like say 45 minutes or maximum of 60 minutes, after which they would start tiring. But this was like watching Klopp's team and their Gijan pressing. The way in
yeah.
which this team pressed us, it was unbelievable. And they had all the it was only 12,000 fans, but seemed like there were
But yeah, it
25 to
sounded
30.
like yeah,
Yeah, it seemed like there were 25 to 30,000 fans in there. And you know
yeah.
what the funniest part was? I saw Barclay and Townsend's name on the lineup, and I was like, "What are these guys doing in here?" And then my second thought
Yeah,
was like, "Oh shit! These are the kind of situations when washed up players playing for these teams
yeah,
suddenly turn up and cause us trouble." And they almost did that. They almost like
yeah,
took that 2 points away from you. So yeah, let's go on. Let's continue your thoughts. Let's continue.
yeah. I think these are the kind of games Luton, teams like Luton, Sheffield would be up for it, at least
Mm,
especially at their home. These are the big games their fans look forward to, pretty much the
exactly.
top six games. I think they what Tottenham won at the last minute, even going down to 10 men. Liverpool drew, and we won somehow at the last minute as well. So I think it's known, right? We struggled against Brentford 2 seasons back when they came up. I think we also
Yeah.
struggled last season with Bournemouth and things. Probably it's like all the big teams taking these smaller teams lightly. Like somehow it's like 3 points. It's a given 3 points. That's how I think
Mm,
they treat, and they get into a rude awakening when they go into the away ground.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's what
Absolutely.
exactly happened. But I think we were pretty good. I wouldn't say like, yeah, even though they pressed us hard and things, we found a way to like score goals. And the two goals which they scored came off a mistake from the goalkeeper. So I wouldn't blame the team, basically. Yeah, they did press us well, but we still found a way around that. And I think we played a really good game. I, for some reason, I didn't feel like we would drop points in this game, even during the 90th minute. I somehow
Really?
thought we would somehow score a goal. That's how I was watching that game.
You know what? I put my phone away from me, far away from me, because I didn't want to
Yeah.
see any notifications, and I wanted to see if at all something happened. I wanted to know it myself without like knowing it through a message, that like we have scored or Rice has won the game for us. But
Yeah.
yeah, Rice
Actually,
did.
for me, why I felt like that was I think we really pushed after 75 minutes. We were
Mm,
really trying to score a goal. It was like something would happen. That's the feeling I got. Because I think after 75th minute, they were completely pushed towards their half. I don't
yeah,
think so. They dominated us after that 75th minute. We went another gear. I think Odegaard was probably like too good at the last 15 minutes. I think we
yeah.
wouldn't have won the match without him. I think he dropped deep. He picked every single pass and he drove us forward. It was like probably, yeah, he wasn't that great, but the last 15 minutes he gave like probably a one of the best performances like as a captain of Arsenal. That's how
Yeah,
I
he
felt.
he 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 delivered when we needed it the most. And another person that I was like really impressed with over the last 15 minutes was Zinchenko. When he
Yeah,
came in, when he did not have like the defensive duties, it's like I find it really funny. Like this guy is sort of an enigma because when we are struggling, he's at his best, and when we
yeah.
are comfortable, that's when
Comfort.
he is like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to lose my
That's
concentration.
like
I'm going to do something stupid here right now.
yeah, that's just being lethargic, right? It's being
Yeah,
like overconfident and things. Yeah, probably he needs to cut that out of his game to be going to the next level. But yeah, he and Odegaard changed the game at the last like 20-30 minutes. We had more control.
yeah.
Nothing against Kiviar. He played a solid game. But yeah,
You think so? You
something.
really think Kivior played a solid game? I
Yeah,
I
he
I
did have a good game.
I felt like he was like, of course, I felt like the entire defense line was not great for the game. They were good, but I found like
Yeah.
Kivior was the weakest link out of the four of them. Rice was not fully fit, I felt, but those are not Rice, sorry,
Yeah.
Rice, White.
Think yeah,
But
he didn't make any mistakes apart from that. Yeah, and he played against Townsend. I think Townsend didn't do anything apart from that passing to Barkley. So I
Barkley.
think he did have a decent game. I wouldn't say like he had a bad game or a pretty average game. So he was like adequate enough. He didn't do any mistakes. He did like link up, made some few decent passes towards Martinelli and things. But apart from that, yeah, this is a game which needed Zinchenko. I didn't think
Mm,
Kivior would start. I thought Zinchenko would start. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what we
yeah,
predicted for the lineup, right? We predicted the same 11.
yeah.
But yeah, the other person who came in inside to the 11, he made a huge difference this game. I think this was probably one of his best game. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. This was his best game. I think like even like Chelsea fans were surprised at how well he played during the game.
Yeah,
I
he
mean, like
has
the
had like really good Champions League games, but I think this was his best Premier League game by
we'll
far.
come back to Kai Havertz, but like before that, I want to start from the back. The way in which we conceded the three goals, especially the two corners, was like very unexpected for me. That was very disappointing because we boast of having like a separate set piece coach who's supposed to be like this big brain taking care of everything. But then the way in which we conceded, like we scored from a Martinelli goal, and we like it was a throw in, bad mistake from the defender, and the ball had to go in for a throw in, and then we quickly did what we do, and Martinelli scored the goal from a Saka pass. But they didn't really let us enjoy that goal because their goal came like almost
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah,
Yeah, and the way in which we considered was like almost an open header for their player. I mean, like for that,
yeah.
I don't know if the Raya has anything like he has to take any blame.
No, I
But
don't think so. Yeah,
the defense line was just like the way in which we guarded them. I think like Rice let him run and like he was not touching him at all. And he scored it very easily. So that for me
Yeah,
was a little disappointing. And you would think that you would learn from that. But the second goal, I mean, this is where the Raya Ramsdale debate, like, comes in and again and again and again, because if Raya is going to be doing this, we might as well give Ramsdale a run, like just a continuous run of games and probably hope that he improves, because
yeah,
it doesn't seem like it's really an upgrade. Do you like see, because like the stats seem to be saying something different, but like when we see it as a fan, he doesn't seem to be adding anything extra than what Ramsdale does from eye test. I'm not able to judge that at all.
yeah, yeah. I feel the same way as well. We saw the stats right in the group. He has like superior stats to Ramsdale, at least for the games he started. But when you look at how we play, like when you see it in the television, it looks completely different. Like he seems
It's
jittery.
always nervy, right? It's very nervy
Yeah,
even for like us, and I don't know how
I
the
think
players
this
are not
game he
nervy.
started well. He didn't do any mistakes. Once he let that first second goal, right, he became too nervous. You saw like that nerves creeping in, and that's why he let in the third goal. I don't think so. If he didn't make the mistake for the second goal, right, he wouldn't have let the third goal in. It was like watching like a nervous goalkeeper trying to do something.
I thought I was watching Onana for a second, the way in which he conceded the third goal. Like the ball had left him
Yeah,
and then he falls down. I'm like, I
yeah,
was thinking that's why I was like thinking Ross Barkley is going to do like a washed up player is definitely going to turn up against us. And he almost like I said in the beginning, he almost like spoiled the game for us. But like yeah, the
yeah.
Raya thing was disappointing for me.
Yeah,
For
it
me,
was.
like
But I still don't think Ramsdale is going to get a chance. I think Arteta has decided. I saw somewhere that Arteta wanted to sign Raya first before he
yeah,
signed Ramsdale.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so he's probably is going to stick to that, and I think Ramsdale will be shipped out probably next season.
I think so too. I think by summer he'll be gone. I don't see any loan deals or anything. We'll try to like
Yeah,
just get as much money for him as possible.
yeah. That's why it's sad to see like a player who got us into Champions League not getting to play in Champions League. I don't think so. He did make any mistakes, or yeah, he did make mistakes, but I don't think so. He deserved treatment. Like, yeah, that's what I feel personally. Yeah, but like football is a ruthless game,
Yeah,
and Arteta is being completely ruthless in this particular situation. So yeah, hopefully, let's see. But I think yeah, it's decided. Raya is number one, and Ramsdale is going to go unless something injury or something happens to Raya. I don't see any other way Ramsdale getting his number one jersey back.
I mean, like I not that I wish anything on anybody, bad or good or whatever it might be, but I'm just like curious to see how Raya is going to perform through the season, because we have like a bunch of
Yeah,
difficult games coming up, both home and away. Like the pressure is going to be really high, and when teams like see that he has deficiencies like
yeah.
this, they are just going to try and exploit that. Like for the flapping that he did for the second goal, their corner, it reminded me of Almunia. I was like, wait a minute, what are we doing in here? Like
It's
we
been
don't have
yeah.
Raya.
I think it's been years or even decades since we had a keeper who didn't have like a bozo moments in them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but that's what I think. Like, when you're making an upgrade, it
yeah,
should be justified. Like
yeah. That's correct.
if you're going
Yeah,
from
for me,
like a
I would have felt like if we are going away from Ramsdale, then it should be towards the level of Allison or
Allison,
like
yeah.
someone like that. But yeah, that's too much expectation. But still, yeah, I would if I want an upgrade, I think Allison is one level above everyone, and then comes like other keepers in Premier League. So I think yeah, if we wanted an upgrade, I think we should have gone to that level.
I think in
But I
the
don't think so.
same.
We have a keepers like Allison. I
No, we
don't think
don't.
so. Anyone is available.
That's the thing, right? Where very few keepers like Onana had a great time at Inter. Then they got him. I think there's that other guy, Mike Maignan from I think AC Milan. So there are very few
Yeah,
people, like you said, who are at the level. That's where I hate the fact that Tottenham got such a wonderful goalkeeper and Vicario, whatever we've
yeah,
seen of him so far this season. probably after Allison, he's the best goalkeeper. And then, like, Emi Martinez is always there. Makes me think sometimes, should we have never let Emi go? Maybe things would have worked out in a very different way. We would never know.
Yeah, you
This
never know.
There's still like Arteta outers on Twitter who keep posting that, like, we should be keeping Emi Martinez and we shouldn't have, like, let him go and all that. Well, like, that's water under the
Uh,
bridge. We just have to go past that.
Even
Uh,
Emi has mistakes in him, right? He's not like he's a good goalkeeper. He's nowhere close to being a world class goalkeeper. It's just that like being doing that antics and things appeals to the fan more. So yeah,
that could also be the case because it also makes you wonder why no big team ever went for him.
yeah, that's correct, right? Like even in Aston Villa games, even if you take the last game which we won against them, it was his mistake
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
we like won. If some other keeper, like for example, Allison was there in that case, I'm not talking about the goal which went off him. The other
Yeah,
two
yeah,
goals
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
easily would have been saved by Allison.
Yeah, yeah, that's true though. Yeah, it's like as much as Emmy could have made a difference. I don't know if he would be like any different. So,
Yeah,
um, let's see our goals. The first goal, of course, we spoke about it, but for me, a bit of a worrying factor yesterday was the fact that uh, Martinelli, outside of that goal, didn't really have an impact on the game. He
I
was
think yeah, I felt
trying
he was
hard.
kicked around too much.
Yeah, and yeah,
That's
Luton were like they just like were having so much fun making all
yeah,
those fouls and like yeah, I mean the refereeing is another thing. I know Vijay would hate us for not talking too much about the refereeing, but I think just to keep him happy, I think we should talk a little bit about the refereeing as well. Your thoughts on the refereeing yesterday?
yeah. For the opposition team, know that uh, our attacking outlet is these two brilliant youngsters in Saka and Martinelli. Yesterday's game, they were kicked around like anything. They at least both of the fullbacks or wing backs should have gotten an yellow for the consistent fouling they have been doing on those two players. This is a thing which always gets overlooked for us. These two players always get pushed around in the match, always get kicked
Mm-mm.
around, and unless and until touchwood, if something happens, I don't think so. Any of the opposition like players get booked.
But the interesting
Yeah,
fact was Saka even spoke about this. I think after
yeah,
the Wolves game that I'm seeing more and more that people are like doubling up on me, and I'm trying to find a way out. But I felt that he was able to find a way out more easily than what Martinelli was able to do so in the last game. I mean, I don't think
yeah,
Martinelli's role has changed or anything, but just the way that he was able to get out of those tight spaces. You would expect Martinelli to do that too, but I don't know. Maybe like we are overthinking about this and it's just like one of the first games that we are seeing after that. But that's where I felt like he was a little ineffective. But outside of that, I was very happy with the other goals that we scored. Jesus' goal
yeah,
was really good. That was a wonderful goal that was made for him. And
yeah. That was a
Havertz goal
great
too.
cross. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a great cross from White. And yeah,
right.
the third goal, the Havertz goal, showed how important is Jesus to this team. He
Yeah,
like literally, yeah, that goal came from him.
yeah,
There is
yeah, yeah.
no two ways about it. Yeah,
But that's where I found like I think like we spoke right at the beginning. Havertz like probably had his best game in an Arsenal shirt so
yeah,
far. I mean, like
yeah,
even better than his performances in the Champions League. And he was there was something very different about him. The way in which he moved, he was going for the balls. I know you've been like very openly critical about Havertz.
yeah.
So what did anything change this game for you in terms of how he played, or like is your opinion changing? Let's put it that way.
No, I think I still need more games like from him like this to be like, oh, okay, yeah, we have spent this 65 million player. Yeah, well and good. I'm still on that fence. Like we paid 140 million to Rights and 25 to Chelsea for Havertz. So yeah, he's probably like. slowly come. I'm like probably might slowly move towards that direction. But yeah, this was probably his best game because he was more involved. That's what I felt. In some other games, the game just passes by him. He would be like just running aimlessly and
and
doing
and
things like
and
that.
his passes would also be more like conservative and
Yeah,
backwards towards the nearest player. I think this
this
game
game
he
his
was.
passing was crisp and like more forward thinking passes. And I think we changed a little bit the tactics. We were trying to hit him more with the long balls, and he
Mhm,
won
mhm.
almost like 60-70% of his headers. And we picked up the second balls and we created a lot of chances out of it. Probably this is the way we are going to play with him if he's in the team, the starting 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think with all these teams that put a low block up or like are physical, I think he would be a better fit than anyone else that we have right now for that LCM position. Plus, like
yeah,
it was like very much a throwback to like back in the day 4-4-2
yeah,
style of football, where we would have like a short guy and a tall guy. And that was
yeah,
the pairing that we had with Jesus and Havertz. Actually, like Havertz was
yeah,
wonderful in the way in which he was creating the space for everyone else. He created the space for the Jesus goal as well. I was very impressed with him, and like I'm very happy that he's turning things around. Like the way in which
yeah,
his body language is different, and that is really important for a player. Like that makes like when you're not confident and you go don't do these things. We as fans tend to think that that's a player sulking, but that player is not sulking really. He's just like not at the level. But when
yeah,
you're confident and you try to do things and things work out, that's when like you're able to like take something away from that and move on to the next level.
yeah.
um
Yeah, I
uh,
saw a stat that he scored 3 goals in like previous 32 games, and he
yeah.
has already reached 3 goals. Like,
Yeah,
funny.
Chelsea, they destroy players, man. Like, I mean, they got this guy, they got Timo Werner at the same time. Both of them are gone. They
Yeah,
got Pulisic, he's gone as well. And now they're getting a bunch of players for
yeah,
overpriced
they're
players who
going to go. Yeah,
yeah, who
I
are
don't know. Yeah,
absolutely doing nothing, like they're doing nothing. Like they paid like what 200 million for both Enzo and Caicedo put together, and those guys are doing nothing. I don't know if it's a manager or if it's a cursed place that probably a few people like Mourinho and Conte brought something out of that club, but I really don't know. But yeah, moving on. Before we go to the final goal from Rice, we need to talk a little about Luton, right? So um, it I think we spoke a little in the beginning, but I think for me, I was just shocked seeing them, play the way they did. It's you generally don't tend to see these games, these teams like giving it all for 90 minutes. You see, I was like, okay, they did well for 45 minutes. They're going to start tiring out within 50, 60 minutes. And then at 60 minutes, they were doing the same thing. I was like, okay, maybe they'll tire out by 75 minutes. It was only when we had complete control of the ball that they were actually like, not doing anything. They were being a continuous threat. Uh,
okay.
anything from your side for Luton before we go to the last Rice goal?
Yeah, I think they switched their front three completely right
They
from the
had a
start
lot
of
of
the game.
injuries too, as well, right? Like you wouldn't
Yeah,
expect them to do anything like this.
yeah, their front three, which started the previous game, they were on the bench, and this was completely a new front three. And yeah, they tried to change a lot, like a few things, and I think it worked in favor for them, being some players being very fresh. And I think the same three players came into the game after the second half, which also like helped them a little bit. And Barkley, of course, like you said, was the player. Rather, apart from the goal, he had a really good game. Actually,
Yeah,
he
that's where I
yeah,
was like, I was a bit surprised at how easily he was able to take our midfield on.
yeah, he was actually he was really good. He moved the ball. He moved. Yeah, he kept the game ticking for them. So yeah,
Mm.
probably might be a good signing for them to even try for that relegation battle. But yeah, it was. Yeah, they did give us a tough fight though. I didn't expect them to score goals like this, but yeah,
I don't think they
it,
expected to score goals either. Like it was just like probably
yeah,
the first goal was a thing, but like apart from that, I don't think they expected to score goals either.
yeah. We consider only 3 goals away from home that this entire season, and we consider three in this game alone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
is yeah.
Whether it's our weakness or their strength, I don't know. But like, if
No,
it is our
it's our
weakness,
weakness. Two goals are mistake. It's clearly it's a mistake from goalkeeper. Nothing else.
uh, this is what we absolutely need to like change. I guess, like get better with that and improve
Yeah,
on that.
because
So
we
yeah,
cannot keep on doing this and like expect someone to bail us out, right? It's not sustainable. So yeah,
absolutely.
unless
Yeah.
we cut down the mistakes, I don't think so. We can like win the title. So yeah, let's hope we improve.
Yeah, and the last game, of course, last goal, of course, Rice. It had to be Rice, right? It had to be
Yeah,
him. I was thinking it was going to be either Kai or him. And when Kai Havertz hit that goal, the header, I was like, oh my god, that's it. We probably might have lost a chance. Like
yeah,
I wasn't expecting us to score a goal at the last minute, but then it had to be him, and he's just like, though he had an okay game based on the standards
yeah.
that he
He was
set so
average.
far,
Yeah,
he was able to like pull that off in the last minute. And I think that's why teams pay 105. I saw something on Twitter which was very interesting. Like this is these kind of performances are what you expect from a 105-year-old. The fact that Chelsea have sort of like made that market bad with getting randos for 105 million, 100 million, and making it seem like this is something out of the ordinary is not right. This is what you should be expecting from your players if you are paying
yeah,
that levels of money. It was very interesting. Like
yeah.
any chance to
That
diss
was like
Chelsea.
a great header though, and it was like a really good cross from Ode. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was great to see our probably two of our clutch players, I guess,
yeah,
combined to score this
yeah.
goal.
Especially when the guy we got in, like Leandro Trossard, he wasn't able to make any difference. You would have
Yeah,
expected
he
him to
tried good chances. Yeah, he did have like good shots blocked, and it was like nearly. He was actually lively this game, but yeah, something had to happen, and yeah, glad it was right.
yeah.
Yeah, not probably. He's the signing of this season, at least in Premier League, because Real Madrid fans will come crying Jude Bellingham. But yeah,
Definitely,
but yeah, you
definitely, yeah.
cannot argue against that as well. That guy is having an insane season.
Absolutely. I mean, like you would think of all this, and you think that England is going to be like the best
Yeah,
team, and
but
they
yeah, they are actually the best squad they have, but they have a bozo manager, so it negates it.
absolutely, yeah. It's like you'd be surprised with like the differences that these
Yeah,
players have at the club level and the country level. Yeah, just a small thing about the refereeing. There was like I think that Gabriel red card
that was a blatant
penalty.
penalty.
I don't know.
What?
I mean, like
Yeah,
it's like last. It's the same thing that happened to Haaland, and he gets a
yeah,
penalty and we don't. I mean, like I know I don't like talking about the refereeing part because it's like it's totally useless. They are going to do what they do, and
yeah.
I just saw
They,
that. Like I think I don't know how accurate the stat is, but like we've got more red cards this season than we got for all of last season. I don't know how accurate this is, but if it is true indeed,
uh,
then my God, we are in for a really, really long season,
yeah. Did we get a red card this season? I don't think
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Tomiyasu.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Crystal
Yeah.
Palace, that 7 seconds of waiting for to throw the ball and then like the next
Yeah,
foul.
yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the point of having VAR? They would say like clear and obvious error. What is more clear and obvious than this?
Then this exactly. Yeah, that's my thing. What is more clear and obvious than this? What do you want? Like seriously,
Yeah,
what do you guys want?
you can like say that the on-field ref missed it. Yeah, you can't blame him that there are too many players to look at, and this
Mm.
is why we have VAR. Like it's clear and obvious. You should assist the on-field ref. But yeah, I don't know.
It was ridiculous to say the least. Then yeah, I think it was like I'm whatever it is. I don't see like yeah. I just felt that the game exposed a few weaknesses that we had in terms of the set pieces and the goalkeeping mistakes. But apart from that, that Ross Barkley goal, we left him open. We shouldn't have done that. We let him go
Yeah,
in. But then like those are the kind of things that you would expect your goalkeeper to save. whatever happens, that's the
Yeah, yeah,
job of the goalkeeper to bail you out of a situation like that. And it wasn't difficult, and he let that in. But apart from that, I think like yeah, it's just a lesson for us to not underestimate any team, any game in the Premier League, and just like
yep, yeah,
perform to the best that we can do. Like the usual control that we speak about was there, but then like we had to concede those goals to bring us back down to earth, I guess. We've been like
yeah,
boasting about letting the least number of goals in, and we had to let in those three goals.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think now
like
we
we
are tied, I guess, for
14
league.
goals. Yeah,
Like, yeah.
yeah. We've conceded 14. Liverpool and Newcastle have also conceded 14. Yeah, so I think that's the simple review of this game. Now, when we talk about the other games, I know we still have two more games left, but we had two really good games today. Well, one really good game and one average game. United versus Chelsea. Of course, you mentioned that you hadn't watched the game. I saw parts of it. Chelsea were horrible. United were
Yeah.
decent, but Chelsea being so bad made them look so much better. And the City
Mm.
Villa game was a cracker. Villa
Yeah.
were absolutely dominant. I've never seen a Pep team play this way. Like, having two shots on target all game and two shots in total. They just literally outplayed it. I'm happy. I'm glad that Emery is doing well at a place where, like he's capable
Yeah.
of making a
Expectations
change
are
and doing
less.
well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like there is no you. He plays however he wants, and the fans are not going to turn against him, or he probably has the right set of players too. We never know.
Yeah.
The ones who are ready to listen to him and abide by what he says and do stuff. Now this is sort of going to make things really difficult for us on Sunday. So before we finish,
Is
how
it
about we
Sunday
do
or Saturday? I think it's
Saturday.
Saturday game.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah. Because the other Premier League games that happened yesterday, I think there was just like our game and then one more game with Wolves, which they won. I got Huang Hichan in my team, and he
Yeah.
was
Me
the one
too.
who scored the only goal. So that was a good 10 points there. But apart from that, I think Liverpool played Sheffield today away from home. They were not
Yeah.
great,
It's easy. Yeah.
but
That's an
Liverpool being
easy victory
Liverpool,
for us.
yeah,
Yeah.
Liverpool being Liverpool, they always get those points. Fulham scored 5 against Nottingham Forest. I missed that
I
game. I
think
didn't
we
see
have
anything.
the next sack, I guess. I think Steve Cooper might get sacked from
You
Nottingham.
think so?
I think they haven't won like last 9 games or something.
Yeah. But again, this was a game also away from home for them, so I don't think there was too many expectations from that game anyway. But I didn't think they were really ready for like a 5-0 battering. I'm surprised. I see that Iwobi has scored a couple and Raul Jimenez has scored a couple.
Oh,
Uh,
Jimenez have scored after ages, I guess.
yeah,
I
just
used
yeah.
to take him when he was in Wolves. Yeah.
Yeah, in all of the FPL things, and yeah, this was a surprise.
I'm
Crystal Palace
seeing
lost.
Nottingham won last against Villa. This Premier League is funny thing.
It's seriously like there is like we would see those circles. This team,
Yeah.
beat this team, beat this team, with this team. That's what's happening here
They
again right
haven't
now. If
won.
I
They haven't won starting September. Only one game they have won, which is in between November. That was against Villa.
Yeah, and I think this is the reason why Everton will survive and Nottingham, Burnley,
Yeah.
and Sheffield will be the teams going down. Crystal Palace lost at home to Bournemouth. I think that's a really good result for Bournemouth.
Oh yeah,
Um, uh,
Bournemouth have started playing well. I'm glad to see.
something's
He's a good
yeah,
manager. Yeah.
yeah. Something's going off at Crystal Palace. They haven't won in a while, I think, and they are like level on points with Bournemouth and just like 2 points behind Wolves. So like
Yeah,
I think
they
they
don't have a good team. They lost Saha. SA is injured. So yeah, they're struggling with injuries and not that great signings as replacement. Yeah, if you take Saha out of the team, right, you know how you would struggle. Basically, he creates literally everything for them. Him and
yeah
SA and Olise was also out for long. Just now he came
yeah
into the
yeah
team.
yeah
So yeah, they might struggle this season. Yeah,
yeah
but I
they
think they would still survive. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll survive. Because there are way more candidates for that
Yeah,
relegation three spots. So I don't think Crystal Palace are going to be in any sort of trouble. Brighton got a win against Brentford. That was also after a while, but then the goal scorers were not the ones. I didn't see the game today. I just saw that Mbuemo, he scored the penalty, but then he was like, he got injured and he was taken off. Brighton, like again, they at least like got a win after a long time being it at home. like I said, the United Chelsea game was all like, very chaotic, especially the first half. It's the Chelsea made United play so well, and the funny part is United missed a penalty within the first 10 minutes. Like
Mm.
10, 15 minutes, and you would expect a team like Chelsea to gain the momentum from then on and like try to make use of it. But my God, they were so horrible. Like I still don't understand what Enzo and Caicedo are supposed to do. And like these Chelsea fans start talking about them having a World Cup winner playing in the middle of the park. But I really don't understand what he brings to the team. Maybe like we are not good enough with our football knowledge to look at it. But when I see it, like when we talk about eye test and everything, I absolutely don't understand what he brings to this team or to the game.
Yeah, the
Uh,
last 4 5 weeks they have won few games, right? Like, and they have decent enough points. Previously, that I think I said like 4 5 weeks back, that stat where he has lost more games than having points as a Chelsea player.
yeah, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
how bad Chelsea has been since he came into the team.
Yeah. And yeah, so the last game was Villa City. Like I said, Villa were amazing. So we have 1 minute left. What do you expect on the game on Saturday? In the game on Saturday against Villa, we have 1 minute left.
It,
Let's take it.
I think it would be a tough game. I think it would be a draw. I
Draw
think we would draw 2-2 probably.
2-2. Okay, I think it'll
Yeah, we are more
be
resilient this season. So we are finding somehow ways to at least not to lose a game. So I
yeah.
think it would be like a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll be a 2-2 draw or a 2-1, 1-2 win for us. So
Yeah.
I think with that we can like close this podcast. I mean, like in terms of having a good win or as the final prediction. So thanks a lot for joining me, Deepak, and thanks a lot for supporting us, guys. Please continue to support the away Gooners, and we'll see you in the next episode.